with the rise of social media, people get so stuck in that doom scroll. I think this is needed now to help people escape and break out from that trend. For Scrolly is to help get better content, but then also help the creators of the games then get the audience that they deserve. Scrolly is not just a game, we want it to be like a B2B platform. That's kind of how we're positioning ourselves at the moment. You can come to us, we can either host your game online to help market it and generate a user base. We can actually, with DD Gaming, build the game for you, then host it so we can do everything. The whole idea is to make it really Web 2 friendly, and Solana offers that transition really seamlessly.
How does it work?
Welcome everybody to How Does It Work episode number 4. And today I have something really interesting, and it's actually this new Seeker app here. It's called Scrolly, and instead of scrolling through brain rot content, you're actually scrolling to a bunch of different games that you can play that you maybe know from certain ads. So I think it's way better than videos, and it's called Scrolly, and it's powered by Solana. And today I'm joined here by Dean. So do you want to maybe introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, hi, my name's Dean. Originally I founded DD Gaming, and DD Gaming is the project that is building out Scrolly.
So I got the app right here, and maybe you can just walk me through it, how it works, and tell me a little bit how you came up with the idea.
Yes, so it kind of, if you think about TikTok, the look and feel is kind of designed to be that exact same look and feel, to make it familiar with, I guess, everybody across the world. TikTok's got a lot of users. So the design itself has a feed tab across the top, so you can go through different categories of games. So we've got featured games, we have kids games, we've got casino games, hyper casual games, puzzle games if you want to just train your brain a little bit and give yourself a little bit of a challenge. And then the hyper casual tab, obviously the one that is designed to just let you just have a little bit of fun, chill out, and then just collect points. And then you can submit your score, and that goes to your profile, and then obviously just boosts up your position on the global leaderboard.
Okay, really cool. So how did you come up with the idea about it?
It was actually when I was making one single game for a hackathon build for the Colosseum hackathon in 2024, and that's where the idea came from. I was unsure about what game I wanted to submit, and then I was really indecisive about the two, and then I thought, why do I even have to choose? Why can I not just have both of them in a feed? And then I started to build the app out and testing what was possible in terms of scrolling with that type of content, and then that's how Scrolly started to evolve into what it is today.
Very cool. What's your background? How did you get into coding? Where did you start?
So I started about probably maybe 2.5 years ago now. I started just looking into GitHub repositories and YouTube videos. Yourself, you do a lot of tutorials on YouTube, which I've watched quite a lot of. There's loads of people, like Sol Andy does a lot of videos, which I've watched for just learning how to code in general. And then I think with the enhancements in AI as well along the way, I've been able to help myself understand code a lot more and kind of self-teach myself. But just by downloading open source GitHub repositories, putting certain scripts into AI and getting it to basically say, explain this to me like I'm 12, and then it'll explain to me the stuff I don't understand, and then it helps me learn then what the different methods are, like how imports work, and just all the other things that you wouldn't know from a non-coding background, into putting into practice into a real app. My actual background is I'm an aircraft engineer by trade. So I did 11 years in the military, and then I moved on to project management in London for 6 years, and then now I'm kind of in the learning phase of building out apps.
It's funny, there's a lot of people who come to development actually from the military background. Even one person from my team is has been a nuclear submarine engineer before, and now they're here. So yeah, it's cool that you got into coding like that. So maybe let's now have a look how the app actually works. And so I open the app up, and then I can play this game here, which I know actually already from a bunch of ads. So basically, you just run and you shoot. And then I can go to different games here and can just play all of them and scroll through them, which I think is really cool. How do you have all these different games in here? Did you make them all yourself?
Yes, most of them we've made ourselves. A couple of them, like that one, for example, we bought the license for from the Unity asset store, and then just imported it in, and then we're just kind of wrapping them in React wrappers to render them on the canvas. But on most of the other games, so like the Bonk game that was made by us in Unity, all the hyper casual games are actually made with TypeScript. So they're not in Unity, those the more hyper casual ones, the kids games, the casino games, and then we just put them in React wrappers to render them on the screen. So most of them at the moment are kind of really casual games. The purpose of the featured feed was to kind of give people a vision of kind of where we're taking the project in terms of quality. So for example, that one that you mentioned first, with the ads, the reason why we put that in was because so many people would see these ads on social media, click it, and then it would be nothing like that gameplay. It would be a Connect free game, or it'd be some sort of other like really simple game that wasn't that endless runner. So when I found that one that we could buy the license for and use it, I thought I'd take advantage of that. And it's actually we've actually got the like a continuous level generator in it. So when you play that, even though it's a mini game, like I think the highest level someone's got to is like 840 at the moment,
Oh wow.
which is yeah, which is quite insane that someone would, it's grabbing someone's attention for that long, which obviously tells us that the gameplay is good, and they're
Yeah, it's a
enjoying
really
it.
good game, and it's like it has a really good hook. Like when you see the ad, you immediately want to play it, and then you want to unlock the minigun and like the helicopter and so on. So I think it's a good game. So can theoretically everyone build a game and submit it into Scrolly?
In theory, yeah. So what we're trying to offer Scrolly is not just a game. We want it to be like a B2B platform. And that's kind of how we're positioning ourselves at the moment, where any project that doesn't have a game or does have a game, depending on where you're at with your roadmap or where you're at with your project. You can come to us. We can either host your game online to help market it and generate a user base, for especially for the really, I guess, immature, like I guess the younger projects, maybe that have only been out a month or two. They're just kind of starting up, and they want some users to start playing, get feedback and stuff. Then we can give them that on that B2B side. But then we can also go like the full mile. We can with DD Gaming, sorry, we can actually build the game for you, then host it, so we can do everything. There's enough, so we can build, maintain, and market the app, so your game on our app, which makes it a really kind of a good niche at the moment because I don't know any other platform our size anyway that can do that on like a personal level. I know there's other sites that do offer that on a larger scale, but in terms of what's available in Solana, we'll definitely be the first.
Yeah, I've never seen an app like this before. I think it's really cool. Like imagine you have like creators, so a bunch of game devs, and they upload their games and they can like get a revenue share. And then you have the like system, so the best games get played the most. I think this has like huge potential actually.
Yeah,
So
I
if you
think
go
one.
to the, you know,
I was going to say one of the things for me is that like indie game developers don't always have the audience that they deserve for their work. So I think whereas I might not have the highest game creation skills just from my lack of experience in the industry. Obviously, I'm striving to learn and push my boundaries all the time as a technical person. But I know there's some indie devs that have been doing it for 10 years, 15 years, and who could knock up a game of a higher quality than myself. So I think that's such a kind of a good route for Scrolly is to help us get better content, but then also help the creators of the games then get the audience that they deserve.
yeah, and at some point, if you have like a good algorithm like TikTok, then whenever I scroll, I actually get like the games that I already like, and you have like already a rating by playtime and likes, and maybe people spend money in there. So I think that's really cool. So what's the Solana part in it?
So Solana's kind of really the core in terms of like how I guess the profiles are managed at the moment. One thing for me is that Solana is the easiest chain to onboard, in my opinion. I don't see any other chain on there that are making it more accessible than Solana. So for me, I'm slightly biased in terms of what we do and why we do it. So with at the moment, GameShift is what we're using for the profiles. GameShift offer us a embed wallet on a Google sign-in. So for anybody that's not Web3 native, they don't need to feel intimidated on what apps they need, whether they need to go and buy something on the App Store in terms of crypto before they can play. The whole idea is to make it really Web2 friendly, and Solana offers that transition really seamlessly. So we've got GameShift. You log in with Gmail, it'll give you an embed wallet, and it's funded with a Solana account, so it's ready to go. And then
Yeah, the
what?
setup was super easy, like super seamless. Like I have my wallet address here. I can upload my picture and profile, and that's actually saved on Solana, yeah?
Yeah, and then we've got partnership with all domains as well now, which means that you can send your sold domains to your embed wallet, and then that can be your identity. So if someone wants to send funds or if you want to buy something, then you can just use your all domains. There's more integration features in the future, but Solana will be the Web 2 to Web 3 onboarding tool in the app for, for the long run. Yeah.
That's really cool. So how does it monetize? Like how do you make money with it, and how do maybe the players or the app developers make money?
So at the moment, we're just waiting on our merchant account from CoinFlow to get approved, which should be hopefully today. Once that happens, we've got certain features in the shop that are going to be readily available. Skins being the first thing, so you can skin up your profile, which will be NFTs minted in the app. And then we've got boosts. So when you're playing, obviously people play at the moment to try and get their place on the leaderboard. We do a weekly giveaway in USDC for the top 5 positions on the leaderboard. So what we're doing now is, obviously, we're going to make it a bit more competitive. The people that aren't that good but still want to win and get on the leaderboard, they can buy boosts, and we've got different levels of boosts. There's like 15-second boosts, 30-second boosts, 60-second boosts, and then 2-minute boosts. And what the idea with them is that all obviously different varying prices, so people can pick which one they want, and then they can get an edge while they're playing. So if they're maybe a few thousand points short, they can just buy a boost them for 60 seconds, and then they'll get times 10 multiplier on their score for the 60 seconds, which will give them that edge maybe to potentially get a paid spot on the leaderboard.
It's really cool. Like I recently saw that the world from like Indies on Solana, they built a system where you live stream games and then the audience can actually influence the game by like either supporting the player or the enemies. So maybe you could also implement like a live stream feature in it and like maybe combine these two. So, like maybe there's a you can watch like famous streamers play the game and then people can in the app can like vote for it and spawn more monsters or something.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Actually, I've not seen. I do chat to VK a bit through Telegram. We're keeping in comms for stuff that we can collaborate on moving forward. But I think, yeah, stuff like anything streaming based is like gaming without streaming. It's like I don't know. To me, it's like but bread and butter. Like they go together so well. And one of the things at the moment that we've been using as a marketing tool is just the community sending out user generated content. Whether that's them screen recording them playing, someone recording them physically playing, or just using the button on the leaderboard page that says share on X. And for us to helping us generate that community organically, that's been such a big help. And it's for a founder as well, especially whilst I'm making the app like alone at the moment because I'm the only dev on that's like the team that's building the app. It's when I see the people playing and you see the smiles on their faces when they're playing it,
Yeah.
like it's such an overwhelming like kind of experience because you just see people that actually enjoying your product, like actually enjoying it. A lot of games that you see on the timeline, especially ones that are monetized, the people that are playing it have been paid to showcase that. But seeing actual organic content like that in the masses that it's been going out on, yeah, it's really humbling.
I think there's nothing nicer than in the world than if you made a game and you see other people play it or comment about it or stream it or make a video about it. I think that's the most rewarding thing as a game designer.
Yeah, I think so. We have a like in the Discord channel. I set up suggestions and bugs report channels, and the guys are so they're on it. Like they are on it. Every tiny thing that they want. But most of the times it's not huge. We're like I could be adding in a new game or a new feature, and I only have to go to one script and comment something out that they didn't really necessarily like, or adjust a setting in something. I think at the moment we're on about. I think it's something silly like an 87% completion rate on what they've suggested they want fixing to what we've actually fixed. And that's all based on just feedback. So the guys, for example, didn't want like sound on the games because two of the sounds clash, which is a bit of an obvious one for us. But then there's some other features that they said that they would prefer and not. One of the biggest one was we were using Stripe for payments initially. And then we were using Honeycomb for profiles, but obviously all that being on chain, we noticed quite quickly that there was a tiny hurdle for trying to mass onboard Web3. Like I love the honeycomb structure in terms of what you can actually do with it, but in terms of onboarding the Web2 users, it provided like a small, I guess, a small gate at the start, which they'd have to open in terms of funding a profile. So when we spoke to GameShift, that was like the community had said that that was a hurdle and that was such an easy kind of fix to help onboard the Web3 because I don't believe that the market for Scrolly is going to be mainly Web3. I think that the majority of the players will be Web2, which is really
Yeah,
key for me.
it could be anyone. Yeah, I
Mhm.
really love that. It's so cool. And you also like you brought it on the Seeker. So I heard you have like a huge community already. Like how which role did like the Seeker release play in that?
The secret release is it's not in terms of like I guess Discord community is kind of how people measure some of the metrics. We've had people join the Discord, which is good, but in terms of actual users, we've maybe doubled in like actual users since we put it on the app store or on the App Store, which is really good for me. And having that exposure was really key. We've done, like everything we do at the moment is kind of experimental in terms of marketing and kind of trying to push the app out organically. No paid stuff. It's just kind of what the communities like to do and what we like to see. Obviously, we give them guidance on what stuff we would want to see. And then we do give giveaways for like the best content. But the idea is what we want to see from that is like every gaming company will want content creators. We want to kind of help people build up with us while we're building the app and get their content to a certain level and then take them on full time at the end. So obviously one of the I guess one of the targets for those guys is to be noticed as a good content creator because then at the end there'll be a paid position, which is good again for us because we like to open opportunities for people that are willing to try. So I'm excited for that. And then in
Yeah, that's
terms of
great.
I was gonna say in terms of numbers, we were hitting crazy numbers played on the like the second week that it came out on the App Store. When I think when the phone started landing at people's doorsteps and they were actually looking at what was on the App Store, we were hitting like over 3,000 games played a day at one point, which is
Wow.
like is crazy. But and
Yeah.
that, that's 3,000 games played, and we currently have just over 650 active users. So the conversion rate for people coming back in the daytime, considering there's no retention model on the app whatsoever, it's just games. Like I think that's really good statistics for us so far. So it's something that we're monitoring closely. And like you mentioned earlier about the algorithm, or that Scrolly tracks like minutes played per profile, minutes played per game. It does. We track everything on the back end, so we can see who's playing what and how much people are playing. So that when we do the algorithm, we don't know if we're going to do it by minutes played or by the social media aspect, but it's something that we'll decide along the way. But like for example, the flagship game at the start, that runner game, that's got over 250 likes on the social media side of things, like just in that game. And we've only got 650 users. So, like, what's that? Maybe like 40%. So, 40% of players are using the social media side of things, which to me is really interesting that they would actually use that much of the social media side. So, I'm keen to explore where both of those avenues can go to and reach their full potential. Obviously, the chats and stuff like that can come in, but yeah, I would say
Yeah,
too
I think
much
it's
on that.
like it has great potential. You could even like maybe partner with things like Voodoo Games or something who make these hyper casual games, and then you just put them all in. Or like, yeah, if you're a game developer, reach out to Dean. Maybe you want to make your own game, and Dean is the only developer he said. So if you want to work on the app as well, you can also reach out to Dean. So, but I wanted to ask now, like, what was your biggest struggle when building this whole thing? Like, what was the hardest part?
So the hardest part at the moment, I think, has been like size and optimization. Because when we
Hmm.
built it originally, obviously adding Unity games, like as you probably know, like Unity games are quite large files anyway. So it was kind
Start
of
at
like
20 megabytes upwards.
yeah. So one of the ones that we recently made for a client was 130 megabytes, and obviously like you want to kind of aim for sub 50 megabytes for an app, ideally. But when I seen it was 130, I was like, how am I going to even put that in the feed? Obviously, they want to be on the feed. We want them to be on the feed. But for us, yeah, it's just at the moment, it's trying to maintain that smoothness when scrolling, but having so many games on the feed. So the way around that was having it as a progressive web app and then just kind of loading the doing some lazy loading on the on the feed itself, so it would only preload and like discard games as we scroll through the feed. So that's coming in. That's actually not implemented at the moment. And the scrolling is quite smooth for most of the tabs, but where you can notice it at the moment is on the hyper casual tab because there's quite a lot of games on that page. When you get past the third game, it's trying to load that many at the same time. It does scroll to the next game, but I do notice it glitches. So on the next update, that's all fixed with some lazy loading.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, TikTok must have had the same problem at the beginning. Like, I think they always preload like five, six, seven of these videos, and then while you watch them, they unload the rest. And the positive thing about games is that you're probably staying longer in one of the games when you play it, and then you have some time to preload the next one, right?
Yeah, I think at the moment we're trialing just one either side of the game that you're on. And because they're being like especially the hyper casual page, because it's only one page on just one TypeScript page rendered, it's
Oh,
it's not a big file. Obviously, the Unity games take a lot longer
yeah.
to load initially, which is the whole purpose of that loading screen when you first go to the games and it shows you the scrolling and it pulsates. That's to load the Unity
Oh,
games.
that's why
That's
it's there. I
yeah,
see.
that's all that's for. So before the Unity games, that would maybe blip and then it would go straight into the game and then obviously it'd be zero clicks to entry. You'd just be playing straight away. But as we increase the quality of the games, we just need to give it that was it's 5 6 seconds just to load it properly. So but we
Yeah.
can start to save stuff in the cache and stuff to just kind of speed that process up a little bit.
And during the whole process, did you ever have the feeling that maybe this won't work out, or did you get criticism from other people?
So no, to be honest, from the start, people said everyone was quite positive and supportive. I think one of the I guess if when I first made it, we were making it on desktop, and I had the games kind of it had more of like a indie game website feel rather than like a social feed. And
Mhm.
then I took sometimes have a chat with Cap, who's the lead of Super Team UK. And when I showed him it, he was like, "It's good and the concept's good, but it doesn't look like a feed." And I was like, and then as soon as he said it, he was like, "It needs to look like TikTok. Like you need to
Yeah,
get it like that."
it needs to
And
be on mobile. It's like the
yeah,
perfect fit.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then I went. That was literally the first week of the previous Coliseum hackathon, and I was like, "Oh, now the heat is on. Like I have to now change this whole thing and build the whole app from scratch to make it mobile and fit." And then that's kind of where it evolved. Then we submitted it into the hackathon. It wasn't nowhere near the progress it was today, but the concept was there, and it's for us. It was a good turning point to show. Kind of how we pivoted and what we're doing now. So yeah, Cap, if you're listening, thanks for the advice. It was really helpful. Yeah.
Great advice. Yeah. Yeah. Cap is awesome. The Super Team UK is awesome in general. So let's maybe get to some like a little fire round. So I'm just gonna like throw a few questions your way, and you answer them in whatever way you like.
Okay, cool.
So, what's the most overrated trend in Web3 right now?
Meme coins.
One developer gadget you can't live without.
Developer gadget.
Yeah. Or tool.
Oh, probably the the Solana that framework. So big up B-Man for keep maintaining it and doing the pushes on it that he's doing at the moment. I've used that every time we do like a test app or an MVP. It's so easy to knock up with Wallet Connect to show people what's possible on a game or an app.
I also love these presets and so on. So, what's the worst bug you had ever had to fix?
I can't remember what it was, but I went on holiday to Turkey and day one the bug was there and I went for a chill. I was just going to relax and just to work by the pool for a week. And they ended up doing like 14-hour days for the whole holiday, like trying to work out what the bug was. It was on Scrolly. What was it now? I think it was when I was trying to work out how how best to. Oh no, that's what it was. And it was the dumbest thing as well. So because we host the games in the canvas that's in a parent window, from the
Yeah,
Unity games we send the score out as a post message.
yeah.
But I wasn't picking them up through the windows, so it was hitting the window, and then I wasn't listening on the other end.
Oh no.
So, and I was like, how is it not? But obviously, because the games are built in Unity, I was tweaking the scripts in Unity, then rerunning the build files, then testing them back on my phone. And then, like, that whole process is quite long when you're waiting for the game files to compile and stuff. So that was what was taking the longest. But it was such a simple, like, thing. And the worst thing was, after, like, day three, I put it into to ChatGPT, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, can you help?" And then it said it gave me something, took me down a rabbit hole for like 3 days, and then I was like, "This can't be it." And then I put it into Grok, and then Grok was like, literally just said, "Yeah, you're not firing it across to the listener properly," and I was like,
So,
"Whole
Elon, if you
holiday
hear
wasted."
this, Grok is good.
Yeah, so the whole holiday wasted, and my whole week spent staring at my screen. I sat in the shade by the pool, not in the sun. So yeah, that was probably the worst one that I've had so far.
All right. One Web 2 app you wish existed on Web 3.
Ooh, um, I was so many, so many. I guess there's one that I really want to make, and I don't know if it exists, and I don't know if someone will steal my idea from me saying it. But there's like a friend finder, but on Solana. So like I want it to be like a global app where you can log on, and then you can have like your profile, you can have like all your different attributes of what you like, what you enjoy, kind of like a Tinder but for friends, but on social, on
Hmm.
Solana. So you can sign up, and then when you're at events and stuff, you can go and find other game developers, you can go find other content creators, and then you can all like chat, link up, and then it'll, you can get your profile verified so you're not meeting weirdos online, and then you can kind of just help you network and help onboard the people that don't know anybody. One of the things I notice is when you go to an IRL event, everyone's so friendly. Like no one is dismissive of anybody. So like coming to those IRL events can be quite intimidating, I think, for someone that's not in the ecosystem already. And like I
Yeah.
was quite intimidated even to come to like the Super Team Fridays at first. 'Cause I thought these guys are going to be way smarter than me. They're going to know more biz development and stuff than me. The content is going to be better than mine. And then when I got here, everyone's so helpful and everyone picks everyone else up. And I just think like an app that makes that less intimidating for people that want to join the space or are in the space but just hide in their basements and don't come, I think would be a really good tool.
Yeah, it's a good shout out to everyone who wants to get started. Everyone is just cooking with water. Just get started, find your local super team, and join them. One underrated Solana project everyone should check out.
Ooh, one underrated.
I would
Um,
say Scrolly, but
yeah, I don't want to shill myself though. But yeah, Scrolly, like yeah. I think in terms of where we're going and what we're doing, like everything's kind of for the user. We want to make your experience on social media kind of style apps more rewarding, less brain rot. Brain rot and social feeds in general are linked to like anxiety and depression. So we want to help I guess the wider audience, not just Web3, kind of give them an option or like an olive branch into something that's more fun and rewarding as well. Obviously, there's so many things that you can do reward wise in Solana. Like our recent partnership is with Solana ID, so you can get coupons and product stuff and discounts tailored to your profile. So that'll be coming in the next update as well. So like all those little things are just beneficial to like the end user.
What do you do to clean your head after a long coding session?
I'm really old school. I just have a beer.
Yeah.
I like to chill with a beer. I typically watch. I'm really easy to relax. I'll just put the US Office on for the 14th millionth time, and I'll just scroll through Twitter, just catch up on some messages, have a beer, and then yeah, sometimes play Call of Duty, but majority of times I just watch an easy watch on TV, either Harry Potter or the US Office. It's kind of just how I relax.
Let's have a beer after this. So, one person in Web3 you'd love to collaborate with.
Ooh, well, I mean, Totally the obvious one. I want him to play Scrolly.
Oh, maybe we can
uh,
make this work actually. He played and streamed some games in the past, and if it's now on his phone, we can probably make this work.
yeah, let me update to version 2 first, so you can buy something.
Explain your family in one sentence what Web3 is.
Ooh, it is to my family, so Web 2 users.
Mine as well.
It's harder than like off the cuff. It's harder than I thought it was going to be. Um, 'Cause when I say crypto to my mum and dad, they instantly think there's some sort of like underground um like websites that you have to go on to buy it and sell it and all that other rubbish. Um, I guess secure and transparent is kind of the best way to say it. Because if you say decentralized to them, they don't know what that means to my
Yeah,
family.
that's true. Maybe we need to
Uh,
rebrand it. Crypto sounds like underground. It's true.
yeah, I think, yeah. So yeah, transparent and cheaper than traditional
Okay.
banking.
If you could rebuild one thing in Web3 from scratch, what would it be?
Ooh, my Twitter algorithm.
All right.
It's not
One
as
piece of advice you'd give to a new Web3 developer.
just get stuck in. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and then join Super Team.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So, where do you see Scrolly in 5 years? Do you
In
think it will
five
become the
years,
next TikTok, but for
uh,
games?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I honestly do believe that. With the social layer that we have that's being used with just the small user base that we've got at the moment, I think that's key to making sure we optimize that as much as we can as the games. And I think the B2B side of things that we offer in terms of getting people on, we can help build so many communities, which I think will be key to the success of Scrolly, and just having good retention models in there. And then obviously just making that Web 2 to Web 3 transition, which is will obviously be via Solana because it's the easiest route. And in my opinion, the best route to onboard as many Web 2 users to Web 3. But the key thing about that is for me, is I don't want any of them to know it. Like the payment system that we use is just Apple and Google Pay. So they'll
Perfect.
sign in with their Gmail and then pay with Apple and Google Pay, and that's it. They will never know that they on Solana. I don't. If you buy something in an app, you don't care whether it's Stripe or whether it's credit or debit card payments when you're doing Web 2 stuff. You don't check who the merchant is behind it. You're okay with it. So I just want that trust and that feel with Scrolly for our users. So we're going to make it as seamless and as smooth as possible to make it, I guess, yeah, recognizable to all the other social media and gaming apps out there.
Perfect. So, why do you think now is the perfect time for Scrolly to exist?
And because there is no other app like this, I think anxiety and depression in most economies at the moment are quite high with the cost of living going up, and um, I guess with the rise of social media, people get so stuck in that doom scroll. Um, I think this is needed now. One, to help people escape and break out from that trend, and then two, yeah, because it's not been done before. So I want to be the person that makes that app.
And because there's a Seeker phone now. So, where is the app available?
Yeah, so the app is available on Seeker, firstly. So you can go to the App Store. Um, you can go to the featured section. We'll be in there. not sure if it'll have cycled round by the time this people watch this, but yeah, we're currently in this featured section. And then if you just go onto games, we should be in the game section under there. And then if you don't have a Seeker, get one. And then if you haven't, or you're waiting for it to delivered, go over to scrolly.games in any browser. So you can do it in your Phantom wallet, Soulflare wallet, Backpack wallet, whatever, or just on your normal browser. And then if you're keen to play it on desktop, you can open it on desktop. It's not optimized for desktop, but most of the games in there are playable on desktop.
Awesome. Yeah. So that was my last question. Do you want to add anything else?
No, that's a lot to be fair. That was much better structured than any of the stuff I would have come up with. That's good.
Okay, cool. So this has been our fourth episode of How Does It Work? If you enjoyed the conversation, share it with your friends, Web3 builders and developers. And also don't forget to click subscribe, remove the bell so you get notifications for the next episode. And if you have any questions to Dean, you want to work on Scrolly, for example, or develop your own game for Scrolly, then I will put his Twitter name here somewhere on the screen. And yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.